Welcome! It's another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana, another day to learn more about yourself, what you're meant to do on this earth, and how to do it. The little things. It's great to have you. I'm Atmadarshan or Laura, and we're using the Song of Your Soul series of books. The link, if you want to find out more about them or get a copy, is right below because, yay, we'll be back to chanting a verse today. We're coming toward the end of our year of sadhana, and we're coming toward the end of the Bhagavad Gita as we go through it. And I feel like I've only scratched the surface with you because there's so much more we could look at, of course. And this year we're focusing on Samatvam, equanimity, the ability to be yourself in all circumstances. One could say that you already are yourself in all circumstances. There's a wonderful saying I've heard recently, which is when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. We often make excuses for others' behavior. Oh, they were stressed. Oh, this. Or, oh, it was the first time I met them and they were feeling like they had to put on a front. So we're in the chapter 17, and if you'd like to join along with the chanting and you have one of the books, it will be verse 3, 17:3. This is the chapter in which Krishna is talking not just about Arjun, but about people. And it's in the chapter on faith, Shraddha. Krishna is talking about the different kinds of faith people have and why he'd be bothering to spend so much time on faith. Why not talk about other things, like other ways people are well? Here we go in verse 3. You can listen or join in as I chant. Krishna speaks. The faith of each conforms to one's nature, O child of Bharata. A man consists of his faith as a man's faith is, just so is he. So Arjun's using, or Krishna is here, this is translated as the masculine pronouns because Krishna is talking to Arjun, but it can apply to anyone, any pronouns. I love the irony of the nicknames Krishna uses. So he's calling Arjun child of Bharat, which means that in this embodiment, he's in some ways conformed to the way his parents did things also. The old saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, how parents act comes out the children, how children act reflects on the parents. Well, what Krishna is saying is, if you want to know something about anyone, you can look at just one small aspect of their life and extrapolate from that. And in fact, this is reflected on a grander scale in many of the Eastern philosophies, like Tantra. Tantra says if you look at any one small piece of the universe, including us, or a cell in us, or a molecule in us, or subatomic particles in us, then you can extrapolate the rest of the universe from that. Wow. So Krishna is saying you can take a small part of someone's life, observe it, and extrapolate the rest of their lives, which might lead us to feel hopeless. So, for example, if you've been paying, and I like the word paying attention, not because like but energy is a form of exchange, and by you just being attentive, you're giving me something, and I really appreciate that. And where did I go? I lost my attention there. Anyway, if you've been watching this series, you might have noticed some little things about me. Like I told you I was going to be here on time for a whole year, and I have been. So you might extrapolate from that. Wow, when she promises something, she tends to do it. And when she sets a time, she tends to be there on time. And she doesn't like to wear makeup, so maybe she's more natural and spontaneous in other aspects of her life. And the hair does what it wants. So similarly, you can look at any little thing in your life. For example, how were you when you came to the practice today? Were you upset, nervous, grounded, running late, running early, fully settled, quiet, having an attitude of sacred devotion, etc.? And then you can kind of look at the rest of your life from that. Like I said, this can make us feel hopeless. I know it makes me predictable because if I tell people I'm going to do things, they can pretty much count on me doing it. So, if anyone wanted to, I would be easy to pull a surprise party on, because all you'd have to do is get me to promise to be someplace else when you want people arriving at the house, and to jump out and say, surprise, surprise. And I would be there. If I told you I was going to be someplace else, even if I strongly suspected there was going to be a surprise party, I would be there. And you could set up with your mind at ease. Okay. But this phrase can also give us hope, because it seems like so much when we want to change our lives, change ourselves on the spiritual path. We go, there's so much I want to change. There's just so much. One of the things Krishna was telling Arjuna in the beginning of the Gita is how important actions are in determining what happens to you, because we can greatly simplify the principle of karma. What you do in this life goes out and it comes back to you. And it creates patterns, creates what we would call samskaras, tendencies, habits, not only in yourself, but in others around you, in the world, in the cosmos. And what if we want to break those habits and patterns? Pick one small thing today and do it differently. Just one, because if you consciously start to do one small thing differently, oh, look, then you're going to become a man or a person of a different faith or a different approach. So, for example, my writing tends to be quite messy and rushed because I'm always thinking of the next thing. I'm not really thinking of what I'm writing. I'm like, after I'm done writing, I have to do this. One thing I've been really focusing on is trying to be more present in my writing, because I notice almost everything I do, I'm like, what's next? Like, after this, what am I doing next? It's going to rain. Oh my gosh. I have to do something in the lawn. Okay. But just by starting to focus on what I'm writing as I'm writing it, that starts a whole new groove. And eventually, if we keep at it, it does spill over into our whole life and into the universe, into the world. So, whatever you're doing to really, truly improve yourself, improves the world. We can have faith in that. Remember, if you're ever like, what verse was that? I keep information about that. Excuse me, my eye is itchy. In the little summary right below here. And if you can click on the see more, you'll be able to see more. Now you'll see me doing the pose we've been doing, that I committed to doing, that we're going to keep doing. One-footed balance pose. Do it the way you like. You can do it sitting down, lying down. But really notice how you're going into it, because that can reflect how you go into anything in life. And if you want to change how you go into things, this is an opportunity. You can do it. This is what yoga is all about. Becoming conscious of your choice and not just defaulting to the same one over and over and over. Birds. Switch sides. So, if you did notice I was laughing, and you wondered why, well, I told you about my tendency to think about the next thing and how I'm trying to break that. I'm doing my pose. As I'm doing it, the last leaves of fall are falling right into my gutters. And so instead of being in the balance pose, I'm thinking, my gosh, the next thing I have to put on my list is clean out the gutters. So there I am. As the one action is, just so am I. But now we have 5 minutes. For this next 5 minutes, really think about how you want to be in this world. So I want to be more present. For the next 5 minutes, I'm going to contemplate, concentrate, practice on presence. I invite you to choose something and give it a go. Meanwhile, my cat is going to concentrate on the next 5 minutes of trying to get my attention. You're next, buddy. Welcome back. I'm always curious as to how it goes with you. Feel free to share in the comments or by contacting me what you were focusing on for your 5 minutes. I was focusing on being present. Darn it, the leaf vacuum sounds like it's in the neighborhood. So I was thinking, oh, as soon as I'm done, I can rake some leaves for the leaf vacuum. Speaking of, today's practice is dedicated with love and devotion to the leaves. Each individual leaf that seems so insignificant, but really had a part to play in the life of a tree, the life of a forest, the life of a community. How we respect anything is how we respect everything. So please feel my love and respect to you. I can't wait to see you next time. Until then.